Literally all I want is one healthy playoff run with Joel Embiid, James Harden, and Tyrese Maxey. Is that too much to ask for?
Perfect.
What is going on, everyone? RB here. Welcome into Philly Take with RB. Hit the like button if you enjoy the show. Be sure to subscribe by hitting that red button below and hit the bell so you don't miss any of the coverage. We're live breaking down every game here on YouTube and playback, so be sure to tune into the show. We were there last night watching the Sixers absolutely demolish the Chicago Bulls. After that excruciating Monday night double OT loss, the Sixers go to Chicago. They get it done in big fashion. Joel Embiid didn't play the second half. James Harden was out. Jalen McDaniels is out, which kind of leads us to where we need to go today, the injury conversation. But it's good to see the Sixers back in the W column, and that's what I really expected against the Chicago team, who, let's be honest, is not that good. Sixers were due for a bad game like they had on Monday, but they bounced right back. But really, I'm looking big picture, and I have to tell you guys, I'm a little bit worried, just a little bit. I'm going to break down why. We'll talk about the plan. What should the Sixers do here in the final 10 games? What should the strategy be? I want to know your thoughts. Let me know down below. Should the Sixers rest their guys at any point? Give me your thoughts. But before we get into breaking it all down, shout out to the sponsor of today's video, Manscaped. Manscaped is now in the beard product market. They have dropped the Beard Hedger Pro Kit. This cordless trimmer right here has a rotary wheel that gives you 20 different hair cutting lengths with one guard. Yes, 20 different hair lengths with just one guard. It's waterproof, has a titanium coated T-blade that is tough on the hair but smooth on the skin. Their Pro Kit comes with beard shampoo, conditioner, oil, beard balm. All those things help the overall health of the beard. And their Pro Kit comes with 3 gifts: a brush, a comb, and scissors. They also just dropped their new and advanced Weed Whacker 2.0 for the ear and nose hair trimmer. So go check out all these products down below by clicking the link and going to manscaped.com. Use promo code PhillyTake, get 20% off and free shipping on any item. Shout out to manscaped.com. All right, let's get into it, man. So last night, there was a frenzy on Sixers Twitter for about 10 minutes because coming out of halftime, Joel Embiid was, let's be honest, non-traditional last night. He had 12 points on, I think, 7 attempts, 7 assists, and 7 rebounds in the first half. He was on pace for a triple-double. I wonder what his VORP was. I wonder what his Raptor was at halftime. Nah, but anyway, Joel Embiid was having a really efficient game, and he had 10 games in a row with 30-plus points. Unfortunately, that streak came to an end. If he had played in the third quarter, I really think he would have went off and continued it. But at the end of the day, 10 straight games of 30-plus is absolutely amazing. At the same time, that doesn't matter at all, because Joel Embiid didn't come out of the locker room in the second half, and everybody was worried. There was no updates. They talked about DeMar DeRozan, who went off and was immediately ruled out. It was so crazy. I mean, everybody on Twitter, it was like a standstill of time. We're live on the stream. I don't know what's going on. Where's Embiid? What's happening? Are him and Harden drinking, playing cards in the back? What's going on? What's going on? But anyway, we finally found out later on what was happening, and we'll break it down here and just give you the updates on the injury. So this was the one tweet, and I thought it was really funny, from Underdog NBA. Status alert: Joel Embiid score differential will not return Wednesday. Sixers were up by like 30 yesterday. They already had this game in hand. They were blowing them out. And then that was the initial report from NBC, apparently, to the broadcast team, to the reporters, that the Sixers were whooping the Bulls so bad, Embiid was not coming back. However, even though I saw that, if you are a true Sixers fan, you know in the back of your mind, nothing is ever safe. This organization loves to whisper down the lane. They love to kind of fluff up these injuries. I've heard day-to-days, and you know what comes next after that if you're an OG Sixers fan, all right? And now, according to the latest report, this comes from John Clark, Joel Embiid now has mild right calf tightness. He did not play in the second half. Here's the play. You can kind of see they like circled it here. This was in the first quarter. He played the whole second quarter with calf tightness. And, here's where he's grabbing his calf. So this is my understanding. He says he's expected to play Friday. Doc Rivers says he is not concerned, but they are going on a long flight with 3 more games on the West Coast, and out of precaution, they sat Joel in the second half. Sixers this weekend play the Warriors on the West Coast. Then next night they play the Suns. Then they play Denver. Then they play, I think, Toronto, then Milwaukee, Boston. It is about to get real. 10 games to go in the regular season. So now you have this question up in the air. What do? Do you play Embiid? Do you play Harden? How about James Harden? All right, the latest update on him. He didn't play yesterday. They said Harden had left Achilles soreness. So now these little things are starting to creep up, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I put my thoughts out on Twitter, and I've been saying this on every video and stream. The number one goal is to get to the playoffs healthy. That is the number one priority. Obviously, the Sixers would be in great shape if they could somehow pull off the 1 seed. Obviously, they were on a big win streak. There was a lot of adrenaline. They were trying to move up the East, right? They were in the 2nd seed for a little bit. They're still battling with Boston. There's 10 games to go, and the Sixers, no matter what happens, need to get to the playoffs healthy. I'll tell you, this season is weird. It feels like a couple years ago in 21. Obviously, that season didn't end well for the Sixers, but, it down the stretch, Sixers were climbing, right? They were on a hot win streak. They were, really on fire. And it seemed like every other team in the NBA was going through deep injury issues. And right now, there's a lot of guys getting banged up late in the season. Paul George just got injured. Luka a little while ago. There are a lot of teams dealing with injury issues. It almost feels like the healthiest team might get to the end of the race this year, honestly. And, a couple years ago, Bucks and Suns, 2 teams that hadn't been there, ended up getting there, and they were probably a little more healthy than other teams. So is it going to be that way this year? Maybe. The Sixers had their injury issues early in the year, and now, they're going through a little bit here. So anyway, Gina Mizell reports here on Twitter, Joel Embiid last night says that he started feeling tightness in the calf during Monday's game against the Bulls and that it popped up again during tonight's first half. He got treatment in the locker room and said being held out was precautionary. Again, I'm taking everything with a grain of salt. I'm not going to believe anything until I see it. Embiid says, quote, like I always say, it's all about the playoffs, trying to make sure that I get there healthy. We're just going to see how it goes the next few days. When asked if he thinks he'll play Friday, he said, quote, likely if it feels good, of course I want to play. See, those are kind of contrasting statements there. If it feels good, he'll play. But is he going to play on a back-to-back? And then, that Monday game against Jokic, Embiid's going to want to be ready to go for that. You saw this different approach from Doc Rivers, especially in that Cleveland game where Joel Embiid, I think it was the Hornets game when the Sixers were up by 40 and, Embiid had a massive block and Doc Rivers immediately pulled him. He had 39 points. And Doc said, nope, because he feels that pain from last year against Toronto in the playoffs where he left him in the 4th quarter. Sixers were up big. Embiid ends up getting a freak accident. He gets elbowed in the face, broken orbital bone. That immediately impacted the future for the Sixers. He could not play the first 2 games of the Miami series. If he did, imagine how crazy that could have been, how different it could have been. Here's the final picture right now with 10 games to go. Sixers are 3 games out behind Milwaukee. 2.5 is Boston, and Sixers are a half game behind. If the Sixers can win a couple more games, they should have the number 3 seed locked up at least. And it's an interesting question because right now the Sixers actually have the best road record, believe it or not, in the NBA. So the difference between the 2 and the 3 seed is essentially getting that home field or home court advantage in the second round. But do they want that? They've actually been better on the road. So that's something to keep in mind. Also, the Sixers, like I said, are in a gauntlet here. This is a gauntlet. Dallas is in there. I forgot to add them in. Denver, Dallas, Toronto, Milwaukee, Boston. I mean, this is going to be tough. If the Sixers can wrap up the 3 seed, if they feel comfortable getting that number 3 seed, I think you rest whoever needs to be rested until the playoffs. Because if you're asking me, would you rather try to go all in, play your heart out for the rest of these 10 games or get to the playoffs healthy? I'm taking the latter every single time. We have seen way too many opportunities wasted due to bad injury, and I'm sick and tired of it, man. And now I'm a little bit nervous because everything had been going good. Everything was smooth sailing, and now it's like you got these little nagging injuries. Embiid, I think, will be fine. I think he'll play through, and no matter what, he will be absolutely effective and dominant. But the way Harden looked in that Chicago game, not only was he bad, not only was he hurt, but he went 2 for 14. He looked awful. And I still believe in Harden. He's had a great year, but even Doc Rivers said early in that game, he knew something was off with James Harden Why did you go out and play him 46 minutes? That I do not understand. If it's going to take Harden getting healthy, resting him the next 10 games for that to be, then fine. If it's going to take him resting 8 games, I don't care what it is. I'm not saying it will be that, but no matter what it is, the number one priority is you have to get to the playoffs healthy. Everybody is banged up, and if the Sixers stay healthy, they might have a real legit shot at getting a couple rounds in. Now, I know Embiid, I want him to play for the MVP and for the Sixers' sake of trying to get that 2 seed, that 1 seed. That's most important, right? Their entire path could be shifted if they could get that 1 seed. However, health is the most important thing. We've seen that over and over again. You don't want to go all this way. You don't want to be on a big win streak, have a lot of momentum riding into the playoffs just to get there, and Harden can't beat anybody off the dribble, or Embiid's looking out of one eye halfway and he can't see. You know what I mean? You don't want to extend these injuries, and you don't want to make it any worse than it is right now. Those are my thoughts. If you feel like you can go for the 1 seed and everybody is truly healthy, you go for it. But if there's anything nagging at all, you make sure that is shored up before these playoffs begin, because it's going to be a ride, a journey, and they're going to have to be at their best to beat some of these teams like Boston and Milwaukee. So we will see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. I'm just a tad bit nervous, but I hope that we get good news on James Harden, Joel Embiid soon, and that they can return. If Embiid plays tomorrow, I'll feel good about him, but Harden's got to get good. And same thing with McDaniels. Who knows what his injury, how severe it actually is. They're not going to tell us anything. But anyway, those are my thoughts. Give me yours down below. What do you think about this Sixers injury situation? Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. And with that being said, I will catch you all on the next one. Peace.